Well, hi everybody. It's good to see you. I hope yous are well. Want to pull you up a chair and set a spell while I tell you the story of the tragic ending of two Appalachian moonshiners. This story starts, as many did way back in the day, when money was scarce in Appalachia. It was hard to come by. Two men began a moonshining business. The more they run that old moonshine, the more the federal agents got disgusted with them. Until one day, the captain of the federal agents told his men this would be their last run. They would be captured, dead or alive. As the two men always did, they loaded up their shine, hit the streets. While they were driving, they come across the agents at a roadblock. The two men, desperate to get away, turned around and headed for the brow of the mountain where they had an old moonshine shack to hide out in. Well, they were chased by the federal agents all the way to the front door. The men went inside, locked themselves in. The agents surrounded that old cabin and told the men to come out with their hands up, or else they would open fire and burn it down around them. Of course, the men, desperate not to go to jail, they didn't come out. And as the chief said, they opened fire and set fire to that old house. And just as he said, it burned down around them. The sad news was delivered to the wives of the men. Memorial service was had, and stones were placed in the local cemetery. There was no bodies to be found. The old moonshine shack had burned to the ground, and if there were any bodies inside, they were burned to nothing. So, this is where most stories end. That is not where this one ends. There's actually a strange twist to this story. 1 month after the funerals were had, the two men showed up back home. Were their wives surprised? Absolutely not. Because the men told them if they ever don't come back home after a moonshine run and the police tell them that they were killed inside the cabin, to not worry. Because what the federal agents did not know, in the floor of that old cabin was an entry to the caverns that went into the mountain for miles and miles. The two men kept supplies and lived in those mountains until the federal agents would not suspect anything. The men's business kept going, and the federal agents would see the men but would run in fear because they thought that it was the ghosts of those men running that moonshine. I guess, as all Appalachian men, they always have tricks up their sleeve. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this little story of what happened to them two men and the surprising ending. Appreciate you listening. Love yous to pieces, and we'll see you next time.